Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition for Wednesday, 6th November 2024, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillian Group. St. Lucia's Ministry of Commerce keeps a close eye on rising costs. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Commerce in St. Lucia recently announced a possible rise in prices for certain goods due to increased landed costs, which affect wholesale and retail pricing. Commerce Minister Emma Hippolyte says the Consumer Affairs Department is actively monitoring the situation to ensure fair prices across the range of items, including food and building materials. Miriam Montoute of the DBS News World reports.
On October 22nd, the Ministry of Commerce, Manufacturing, Business Development, Cooperatives and Consumer Affairs sent out a notice to the public informing them of a possible increase in the prices of some goods which are subject to percentage markups. This is due to high landed costs, as percentage markups are applied to landed costs in order to arrive at wholesale and retail prices. Commerce Minister Emma Hippolyte says that the Consumer Affairs Department is monitoring the basket of price control goods on island.
But what you're seeing at one point, at the beginning of the Ukraine-Russian war and COVID, you saw a significant increase in freight prices. And then we saw the freight prices declining. And now you're seeing another shift again. That is why that announcement was made.
Minister Hippolyte assures that the Consumer Affairs Department is taking greater steps to monitor the situation closely to ensure the best prices for consumers. She adds that this is not just for food items, but also for building material and hardware.
Within the Ministry of Commerce and within the Consumer Affairs Department, we are taking greater steps to ensure that we monitor more effectively what is happening on the ground with the issue of pricing. It is critical for us. So I need to give the consumers the comfort of knowing that we at the Ministry of Commerce is on the ground. We have our inspectors on the ground.
The minister's comments were made at Monday's pre-cabinet press briefing. For the DBS News World, Miriam Montoute reporting.
Shocking statistics from new research suggest that males accused of committing the more than a dozen murders during the first half of this year in Barbados are on average just teenagers. The revelation comes from criminologist Cheryl Willoughby, who says it is cause for major concern. CBC's Anesta Henry has the report.
Barbados recorded 19 murders for the first 6 months of this year, and the average age of the accused is less than 20 years old. Director of Criminal Justice Research Planning Unit Cheryl Willoughby says this finding is shocking and shows the need to focus on engaging the youth. She was speaking at a youth-led prayer event organized by the units and the National Peace Program to mark the beginning of Crime Awareness Month.
We've recently did a piece of research where we disaggregated homicide statistics, and what is concerning to us is that the age of persons accused of murder is significantly low. The average age last year was 16 years old, and this year between January and June, we are seeing young people as young as 18 years old, average age 18 years old, being accused of murder.
The director says there is a need to engage all partners to respond to what the recent research has been showing. She adds that the unit is also paying close attention to persons who have been released from prison recommitting crimes within 6 months.
Our recidivism rate for persons who are released from prison and who are released back into society, we find that after 6 months, they are reoffending. So that is something that we are also targeting.
Research conducted by the unit in the past has shown that low education attainment is one of the reasons for young people getting involved in serious criminal activities. According to Ms. Willoughby, the unit continues to feed information to the National Peace Program to allow for the planning of programs to help reduce crime on the island.
I would also like to see the community policing department enhanced. I want to see the reactivation in totality of the resident B officer scheme, where they can go into schools and at-risk communities and work with people, because I believe that strategic policing has to involve that crime prevention element, which can come through the resident B officer scheme.
And while noting that the peace program's interventions have been making significant gains, Minister of State in the Office of the Attorney General with a focus on crime prevention, Corey Lane, is also concerned about the increasing number of young males being accused of committing murders.
We are seeing the lowering of the ages of persons not just involved in crime, but being involved in murder. In terms of the persons charged with murder just this year, we have one 21-year-old, two 20-year-olds, one 19-year-old, one 18-year-old, one 17-year-old, one 16-year-old, just this year alone, and it is only November.
This month of activities themed engaging youth to prevent offending and reoffending includes a youth speak-off, community activity day, webinar, and pre-independence slime and awards ceremony. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick,
in association with our friends at
Antigua Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Anesta Henry again reports that Barbados' healthcare system is about to benefit from an injection of 155 nurses from Ghana. They arrived on the island on Sunday and were greeted by officials from the Ministry of Health.
155 nurses from Ghana as they arrive at the Grantley Adams International Airport for duty in Barbados after touching down on a chartered flight. They've come because the demand for nurses continues to outstrip local supply from institutions like the Barbados Community College. Minister of Health and Wellness Senator Dr. the Honorable Jerome Walcott says that's why government continues to look outside for nurses, despite criticism from some quarters. Minister Walcott was speaking to the media in the Grace Adams Suite at the airport, where he greeted high-level Ghanaian officials.
As it currently stands, we have space for 60 student nurses every year in our college. This year, 45 nursing students entered BCC to do nursing. 9 were non-Barbadian. In other words, 36 Barbadians came forward. So our numbers are going down.
And Minister Walcott says while students are graduating from the BCC with degrees in nursing, they must get over the hurdle of passing the regional examination.
And therein lies the issue as it relates to the failure rate of our nurses who are trained in BCC, and it fluctuates. 1 year I hear this 60%, then I hear this 40%. You can't be registered unless you have done that exam in Barbados.
He adds the Queen Elizabeth Hospital and other healthcare facilities will benefit from the nurses who specialize in various areas.
We have nurses going to the QH for the various specific specialties, accident and emergency theater, cardiac trained nurses, and other areas. In the case of the Ministry of Health, we were concerned about nurses, midwives, certainly in the area of psychiatry with the focus on mental health. We have a number of nurses who are trained psychiatric nurses, and this was an area where we were suffering for a dearth of trained psychiatric nurses in Barbados. We have nurses also who will be working in the polyclinics deployed in primary health. I gather that we have some nurse practitioners in this group who are here. So we're looking for these nurses to help to improve the overall delivery of our health care.
The health minister believes the most recent cohort from Ghana will play a major role in helping to fill the void.
We're getting closer. I think you'll recognize that recently the Prime Minister spoke about creating an additional 142 posts for nurses in our hospital alone. That is over a period of 2 years. So we are getting there. The director of nursing for the QEH is there, and I'm sure that he feels very pleased with this bunch of nurses coming in, and also the fact that there's commitment for more nurses spaces. We recognize that the health system needs more nurses.
Ghana's Deputy Minister of Health, Adelaide Netem, says her country is pleased to continue facilitating this opportunity for their nurses.
We have so many nurses available who are not even working. So for you to come and employ some of the people, I think is very incredible. And I believe that whilst they are here, they are able to deliver, because I know they have the experience to work. And like you said, you have employed previously, and they are doing well. So I believe everything is going to come out well.
The first group of Ghanaian nurses came to the island in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, while the second came in 2022. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
Over in Antigua and Barbuda, prestigious honors have been bestowed on some of its finest citizens as it marked 43 years of political independence on Friday last. 2 knighthoods were among the awards conferred. Kim Emmanuel Baird of ABS News reports.
Retired obstetrician and former Chief of Staff in the Office of the Prime Minister, Samuel Amir Esquire, was conferred with the honor of Knight Grand Commander of the Most Distinguished Order of the Nation, KCN, for meritorious service in national development and healthcare advancement. Sir Samuel was appointed to the Senate in 1997 and served as Minister of Health and Civil Service Affairs. He was instrumental in the planning and development of the Celesta Bird Medical Center and played a key role in establishing the first hemodialysis unit in a hospital in Antigua and Barbuda.
Samuel Ama was the first to serve as Chief of Staff to the Office of the Prime Minister in Antigua and Barbuda, a role he assumed in 1995. In this crucial position, he not only managed press briefings, but also played a vital role in coordinating recovery efforts after Hurricane Louis. His leadership was key to ensuring a prompt and effective response during the national crisis.
Ronald Leslie Randall was also bestowed the honor of Knight Grand Commander of the Most Distinguished Order of the Nation, KCN, for his outstanding contribution to national development, community service, and philanthropy.
So applause there for Mr. Ronald Randall, who will now be referred to as Sir Ronald Randall, after having received the Order of the Nation for outstanding contribution to national development and community service alongside philanthropy.
Vernest Mack was awarded Grand Officer of the Most Illustrious Order of Merit, GOM, for her contribution to education and nation building. Mack has also made her mark as community activist and trade unionist throughout decades, and also serves as an executive officer and president of the Antigua and Barbuda Union of Teachers.
Additionally, she has held an executive officer position with the Caribbean Union of Teachers, representing the organization at esteemed forums in South Africa, Thailand, and Canada. Even after retiring from teaching, Vernice Mack has remained active.
Catherine Chiddick was presented with the Grand Officer of the Most Illustrious Order of Princely Heritage, GOH Award, for her outstanding contribution in education and community development. Chiddick has demonstrated remarkable commitment to youth development. In 1981, she opened her own school called the Grace Crescent Primary to continue molding young minds.
Early in her career, she provided a private learning experience in the Grace Green Bay community, where she skillfully engaged students, fostering their interests and growth during a critical developmental stage. Her emphasis on discipline and decorum helped children understand the educational and social structures that would shape their lives.
They were among 9 individual awardees at the Independence Day Parade. Team Island Girls were given the Institutional Award for the Most Precious Order of Princely Heritage Gold for outstanding humanitarian endeavors. Reporting for ABS News, this is Kim Emmanuel Baird.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.